Hi there, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be making this awesome masculine birthday card. It says, "You're a classic, awesome at any age, happy birthday." I have some little oil stains here. This is project number 4 in my Geared Up Garage Club Kit. The Geared Up Garage Club Kit is available through May 31st, 2019 while supplies last. Check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to see what current club kit I'm offering. Now if you don't have the club kit, don't worry, I'll give the supplies and dimensions as we go along so that you can make this awesome masculine birthday card along with us. Now the stamps and dies that you'll need are the Geared Up Garage stamps and the Garage Gear Thinlits dies. This is sold as a bundle at Stampin' Up until May 31st. After that you can purchase them separately. Be sure to check out my website to get that host code and earn 15% of your retail purchase towards your next club kit from me. In addition to the Geared Up Garage bundle, you'll want to use your rectangle stitched framelits dies to cut around this part here in the front. And you'll also want your itty bitty birthdays to get the awesome at any age happy birthday. Now the inks that you'll need to make this card is the Memento Tuxedo Black, and then the basic gray if you want to use that for the oil stains. You could use the Tuxedo Black if you needed to do that. For your Stampin' blends to color the car, if you want to color it like I've colored mine, you'll need dark Poppy Parade, light and dark Smoky Slate, light Balmy Blue, light Daffodil Delight, and then this is the black journaling pen, and it is the 01, and I'm going to use that to fill in where the stamp doesn't completely stamp, because the stamp is meant to be kind of a distressed look. So if you want to cover up where the distressed look is, you can use your 01 journaling pen. For your adhesives, you'll want your mini dimensionals, your mini glue dots, your glue, and your snail. Your tools, you'll want scissors, pencil, your piercing tool, your Stamparatus, a stamping block, and your Big Shot. You'll also need a scratch piece of paper. For your cardstock, you're going to want to have a piece of thick whisper weight, 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2, and then you'll want some regular whisper weight. This piece is 4 1/4 by 3. That will be for our car for stamping. And then you'll need a piece 3 5/8 by 4 7/8 for the inside sentiment. For your real red cardstock, you'll want a piece that's 3 1/4 by 5 3/8 and a piece that is 3 3/4 by 5. And then for your Smoky Slate, 3 3/4 by 2 3/8, and then Daffodil Delight, 4 1/4 by 3. We'll be stamping on that as well. And then your basic gray will be 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. Your DSP will be the steering wheels, and it is 3 by 5 3/8. You'll want a 6-inch piece of the real red cotton ribbon and one of the little metallic key embellishments that's included in your kit. So that's everything that you'll need, and we can get started on making our card. Let's get our Stamparatus. So here's the Stamparatus, and then I also forgot to tell you that you would want to use, if you're going to do the stamping the way I do it, you'll want a piece of window sheet that is 4 inches by 6 inches. I use this to place my stamps perfectly on my project. So we'll be stamping on our Whisper White pieces and our Daffodil Delight piece as well. So let's stamp on our Daffodil Delight first. Now we will be die cutting this with the 5th largest rectangle die. So we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the top. That's this one right here. So we just want to make sure when we do our stamping of Euro Classic that we do it so that we have room to die cut. So let's get our stamps. We're going to need the 2 stamps from the Geared Up Garage. We'll need the oil stain stamp and the Euro Classic stamp. From the Itty Bitty Birthdays, we'll need Awesome at Any Age. And then we'll also need Happy Birthday. So we're going to bring in our Euro Classic, and we're going to stamp that on our Daffodil Delight. But like I said, we want to make sure that we're going to leave room to die cut the image, and that looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to leave my stamp there and pick up my stamp. I'm going to ink that up with Memento Tuxedo Black. And since this is cardstock, it will probably, colored cardstock, it will probably act as a sponge to suck up that ink. It looks like I have something on my stamp. Let me get my, right here. Actually, no, that's part of the stamp. Okay. So I'm probably going to have to ink this up a few times to get a nice rich color, and you can see there's places in the stamp that the ink isn't taking place. That's because it's a kind of a distressed look, but we're going to come back in with our 01 pen, our journaling pen, and we're going to fill in those spaces that didn't stamp. I'm just going to take this and color over the spots that didn't stamp. So I'm going to clean off this stamp, and I just realized that I forgot to tell you that we're going to also stamp the car. That's very important. So we'll get our car stamp out, and we're going to stamp that on the smaller piece of Whisper White, the 4 1/4 by 3. We'll be die cutting that one as well. So we don't have to get it perfectly placed. We just need to get it somewhere in the center. And we're going to ink that up with Memento Tuxedo Black. And I like to rub it because there's some small detail in there that if you just dab it, it doesn't always pick it up. So we'll stamp this. And since I'm going to color it, I don't want a dark image of the car, but I do want the tires to be nice and rich. So I'm just going to ink up the tires. And don't forget this tire down here underneath the hood. I'm going to do that again. This just kind of makes those tires pop right out. Okay, I think that's good. So that's ready to color, and we'll do that in just a moment. We're going to finish our stamping with our 3 5/8 by 4 7/8. Now before we do this, we will want to bring in, let's see, our piece of 4 by 6 window sheet. And let's see, we'll want to stamp Awesome at Any Age and then Happy Birthday a little bit below that. So Awesome at Any Age, we'll start with that. I'm going to put that down at the bottom here, near the bottom. And I'm going to ink that up and make an impression, an image on my plastic. And then that will help me to know where to place my paper. And then when I have it where I want it, I'm just going to put that in place, remove the plastic, and ink up my stamp again. So I have my Awesome at Any Age. I'll clean that stamp off. And I'll also clean off my plastic and dry it. So next we're going to do the Happy Birthday. So we'll get our plastic back out here. We cleaned it and we've dried it. We'll put that in place. We'll put our Happy Birthday here at the bottom and ink that up. Okay, that's going to show us where our Happy Birthday will be, and then we'll just slide this underneath and put it in place. Okay, I think that's good, and then I'm going to remove the plastic, ink up my stamp again, and stamp that. Okay, now I'm ready to do the oil stains on the sides. Just clean off my stamp and my plastic. Now for the rest of our stamping, we won't need to have our Stamparatus, so we can put that away. So I have my D block and my oil stain, and I have my basic gray ink, my scratch paper, and my card. Alright, so now I'm going to stamp the edges, and I'm just going to see how it has kind of a long, we're just going to take that and kind of stamp half on and half off. So the paper is kind of, the edge of the paper is kind of like halfway in between there. And I'm just going to keep turning it upside down and back to the same, kind of that way. Then I'm going to turn it over here and do the same thing. And there we have it. We'll clean off our stamp, and we're done with our stamping. So we're ready to do our coloring, so we'll bring in our Stampin' Blends. We'll start by coloring let's do the gray first, the light smoky slate. Now I'm going to use my brush tip, and there's this little piece here in the front of the car. That is like an air vent, I believe. That is going to be a light smoky slate. Then the grill is going to be smoky slate. The tires will be smoky slate as well. Now I'm just talking about the rims of the tires will be smoky slate. Alright, and now we'll do the red, the real red. We'll do the car body. Okay, so we got our red. Now we're going to do our headlights with light Daffodil Delight. And then our glass is going to be light Balmy Blue. And then lastly, we're going to take our dark smoky slate, and we're going to go all around the edge of our card with our brush tip. Okay, we're done with our coloring. So now we'll do our die cutting. We're going to die cut You're a Classic with our 5th largest rectangle die. So we'll just want to make sure that we leave plenty of room for our car down here. So make sure that's even and it looks good. And then we're also going to die cut our car. So we'll need our car die from here. That's this die right here. And we'll line that up and then tape it in place. Okay, now we're ready to die cut those. So I'll be right back. So now we have our car and we have our front sentiment. So now we're ready to put our card together, and we'll need our card base. Find our valley or our groove and fold away. I'm going to match up these edges just to make sure they fit well together. Crease it with our bone folder, and let's see. This is our card panel, the first one here, and we're going to put some ribbon around it. And let's see, I need to measure. That's going to be 1 inch from the top. So find your top, wherever you want your top to be, and measure 1 inch on both sides. And that's just going to help me to know where to place my ribbon. So I'm going to put some snail below that mark so that my ribbon has something to dig into when I take it and put it around. I'll find my curve. So I have it on even distances on both sides, and then it's going to be just below that mark. So the top of my ribbon is right on that mark there, and that's ready to go on the front of my card. And it'll go right here. I'm going to put that on with some snail. And I'm going to put some across my ribbon as well to kind of help hold my ribbon in place. Okay, and then next we're going to get our DSP and our real red. That is 3 1/4 by 5 3/8. We're going to put that. It'll meet on the ends, and then there'll be a little bit of an edge, about 1/8 of an inch on both sides. And then that's ready to go on the front of our card. I'll put that on with some snail as well. And then next we're going to put this on top of our smoky slate, our 3 3/4 by 2 3/8 smoky slate. And I'm going to do that with some glue. Okay, this is going to go on top here. I like the glue because it lets me move it around if I need to. Okay, now the next we're going to I guess we'll put this on our card. We'll do that with some snail. I'm not putting any snail on the edges because it's just here in the front that needs to be adhered. Okay, and it's about 1/2 inch from the bottom of that real red ribbon. Now we're ready to put the car on, and we're going to put that on with some mini dimensionals. But I guess before we do that, let's go ahead and put the inside on. So we'll get our real red, our 3 3/4 by 5 real red, and we'll put our panel, inside panel, on there. And then this will go on the inside. Alright, now we're ready to finish the front. So all we have left to do is put our car on with some dimensionals and put our little key on kind of here in the corner. So we just want to make sure we leave room for our key in the corner when we put our car on. So I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the back. So I have my dimensionals on the back, and I'm going to remove the backing. So I'm just going to place this here where it's kind of even in the center, maybe over it just a tad. That looks good. Make sure I leave room for my key. Maybe over just a little bit. There, that's good. Now my key I'm going to put on with some mini glue dots. So I'm just going to take a glue dot and kind of fold it over like a burrito or a taco, probably better. A taco's better, the shape. And I'm going to put it on the back. Probably going to do 2 or 3 of these. Just kind of roll it in the shape of a taco or burrito. And I think I can do one more. 2 would probably be okay, but I just want to make sure that one wrapped around my piercing tool. Okay, how about this one goes here across the back. All right, I think that will hold it in place. So I'm just gonna kind of use my piercing tool to place it in place right there. Okay, now we have our card. So I hope you enjoyed making these cards with me. This was project number 4 in my Geared Up Garage Club Kit. Check out my website, www.carolbcrafts.com, to see what current club kit I'm offering. Thanks for watching. Bye now.